So when it comes to a mother's intuition about their children, usually, for the most part, they are, I believe, correct. So when a mother believes that something is not fully mentally right with their child and has her child go to many appointments, go through many tests to prove that something is off, and every test comes back inconclusive, that's frustrating. And especially when you believe that those tests could have helped with preventing what happened with 27-year-old Gemma Hayter. Hello, my name is Amadi, and with me is my friend,
The Grin.
And welcome to our channel, a podcast where we don't shy away from gruesome details where some things may be triggering and hard to hear. So get yourself in the right frame of mind and let's talk about dark shit.
Let's do it.
And I'm going to apologize right now. I am still lingering coughing, and allergies are just hating my nose and my everything right now. So apologies. So this story is taking us to Rugby, Warwickshire, England. On September 13th, 1982, Gemma Hayter was born, being the youngest of two older sisters. Growing up, Gemma had a bit of more of a difficult childhood. Her mother, Sue Prince, saw that she was a bit different from her other sisters. That school was a bit more difficult for her. Learning the simplest of things were even difficult. It was a battle for her to even do her hygiene. Taking a shower, it was always a hassle. It was always a fight. In school, her teachers never noticed anything wrong, but her mom still did. As a child, she was diagnosed of having a learning disability, but it was never confirmed if she was on the autistic spectrum. And that's because every single different provider her mother took her to, all of them would say just different things. Eventually, during secondary school, they were able to get Gemma into a school for disabled students, and this actually ended up helping her a lot. And by the age of 18, she was tested again, and they thought that she actually just had a disorder called conduct disorder. According to Healthline, conduct disorder is a group of behavioral and emotional problems that usually begin during childhood or adolescence. Children and adolescents with this disorder have difficulty following rules and behaving in socially acceptable ways. It sounds like a normal thing to me.
I agree.
So eventually, she ended up getting dropped from being watched over from their government, I guess, because of the whole autistic thing. Since they couldn't find that she was actually autistic. So at the age of 25, she ended up getting her own flat, her own place. And because she was dropped, that means that she wasn't having people come in to check on her. Not her parent, not her mom, but like the city wasn't coming in to check on her. And when she had her own place, she wouldn't even let her family come over to visit. She wouldn't let her sisters come over. Her mom couldn't even go inside the house. Anytime her mom would come and pick her up, she would have to wait outside for Gemma to meet her.
That's strange.
Her mother thought that the reason that Gemma wouldn't let her in was because Gemma got to a point where she's 25 now. She wants to be independent. She wants to be considered an adult. Let me grow up kind of thing. So, her mom gave her space. Around this time is when Gemma became friends with a girl 5 years younger than her, named Chantel Booth. Sue, Gemma's mom, she did think this was kind of odd. It was an odd friendship because Chantel was a normal girl, and she's being friends with Gemma. So she thought that was kind of weird, like for a normal girl to be friends with Gemma, but they're friends, so she's like, I'm going to leave it alone. Chantel, she wasn't a good person, though. That sounded weird.
So was it just all a mask?
Well, Chantel never showed that she was a good person.
Oh, what?
Well, okay, so she wasn't a good person. She had issues. She would get into trouble. She had her like a little own like rap sheet going on and everything. And some people even heard that Chantel referred to Gemma as having Down syndrome. And that's not nice for if you're a friend to say it about a friend.
Yeah.
And one time she even shaved Gemma's head. She's not a kid. Like, she's still like old enough not to do that.
Yeah.
Chantel started to date a guy named Daniel Newstead, who was only 2 years younger than her, on October 2008, and eventually they ended up moving in together. Daniel wasn't a good guy either. Daniel had a history of abuse towards women. He had domestic abuse against his mother, sister, previous girlfriends, and now that's including Chantel. Chantel was also very good friends with a girl named Jessica Lyons. Chantel and Jessica once in June of 2010 bullied a young, vulnerable woman in a hostel. And all reports do not say that it was Gemma. It was just another young, vulnerable girl. Jessica was living with her boyfriend, Joe Boyer, who they just barely moved in, and they were dating since May of 2010. All of them were neighbors in Rugby in this flat, so they're really close to each other. Since the others were friends with Chantel, they all started hanging around Gemma as well. Gemma was the oldest. And since Gemma was vulnerable, they started to steal money from her. They started storing illegal drugs at her place and even pressured her into shoplifting for them. To Gemma, this was all okay because to her, that means that they're my friends,
So they took advantage of her vulnerability.
Yes, and it's really sad. So we get to Saturday, August 7th, 2010. Gemma was out drinking with the others in Rugby Town Center when a pub bouncer questions Chantel's ID. Gemma starts to, not out of anger, not being mean, but it playfully starts telling the doorman and bar staff that Chantel's only 15 years old. This got around, and because of this, Chantel and her friends were either denied entrance or getting bounced from pubs. To them, Gemma had spoiled their night. So the next day, while at their flat, Chantel's flat, Chantel and Daniel invite Jessica and Joe over around 4 or 5. They come over, and Joe had invited his friend Duncan as well. They were all hanging out, drinking, and possibly some drugs were involved, and Chantel ended up inviting Gemma to come over. A few hours later, Gemma comes over, and that is when this 4-hour-long assault on Gemma occurred. They started headbutting her, hitting her with a mop handle, gave her several fractures to her nose, strangled her, taped her face, and then Daniel and Joe peed into a lager bottle and forced Gemma to drink it.
Ugh.
And this all went on for 4 hours. At one point, they even locked her up in one of the bathrooms, took her phone and smashed the battery and tried to flush it down another bathroom so she couldn't get to her phone and call her mom or anybody.
So is this like a punishment for what she did?
Yeah, they were pissed. Yeah, they were pissed.
Oh. Fuck.
So they started just torturing her.
Oh my God.
Just because they couldn't go out and drink.
Ugh. Dust mites, all of them.
Dust mites. They all eventually decide to let her go. So a little after midnight, all 6 of them were seen on CCTV walking Gemma home. On CCTV, you could see Gemma behind the group, and she is just following them. And every once in a while, she has a paper, and then she's putting it up to her nose because her nose is bleeding. So it's just like continuous. She's like walking behind them, and they're all having a good time talking to each other and being all hugging up each other. And she's just like following them with like paper in her nose.
She continued to hang around them?
She did.
Oh, that poor thing.
I know.
Why?
Because she's the type of person she was. To her, they're her friends.
Despite all of that.
Yes.
Ugh.
When they were walking her home, they ended up turning a different way and were going away from Gemma's house, and she was still following them. They ended up going to this railway, like a train, railway that wasn't even used anymore. And at that railway, they continued to beat Gemma even more. They wrapped a black trash bag around her head, stripped her clothes, burned them. I think they also stabbed her between her shoulder blades because they said there was a stab mark there, and left her there to die. The 5 of them, after leaving her naked body on the tracks, were seen on CCTV around 1:30 a.m. walking back to their flats. Gemma was found the next day on August 9th at 5:30 a.m. by a jogger.
So she was actually killed?
They killed her. At her autopsy, a home office pathologist found more than 50 injuries on her head, face, and body. It was said that she passed away from suffocation and choking on her own blood because of how much they fractured her nose. All of this was because she ruined their night, just because they couldn't drink. All of this.
No, but she kept following them and hanging around them. Ugh.
It's sad. It's very sad.
It kind of gives me like a weird ick.
There's assholes like this, or like they were able to take advantage of a girl like this.
They were able to take advantage of a girl like this.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Continue, sorry.
After 8 weeks of the trial at Warwick Crown Court, despite all of them trying to blame each other, they were found guilty.
Wait, they turned on each other?
Yeah. They're stupid, okay?
They are.
Okay. They did this because they were angry for drinking, not being able to drink out. They're stupid.
No, saying they're stupid is putting it lightly.
I don't know another mean word right now. They're stupid. Chantel Booth, 22 years old at the time. Daniel Newstead, 20 years old. And Joe Boyer, 18 years old, received a life sentence with a minimum of 20 years. And Jessica Lyons and Duncan Edwards, both age 19, received manslaughter on July 2011.
Wait. So did Jessica and the other dude
I think they received about I want to say it was like 13 to 16 years. I guess they didn't do most of it, maybe they're saying.
Oh, so that's why they
received manslaughter and not life like the others.
So the other ones were the ones who inflicted more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she was 5 years older than Chantal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was 22. So
she was 22.
That means Gemma was 27, right?
Yes.
Do my head. Math in my head.
So proud of you. But it's
God.
weird though, because why would that have been an issue with Chantal's ID at a pub?
Yeah.
If she was 22. Maybe, you know what? It didn't say this, but maybe because of that, they probably questioned the others. And the youngest was 19. Duncan and Jessica. Jessica and Duncan. They were 19.
But wasn't there an 18-year-old in there too?
Yes. I think that was Joe.
He received life, no?
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Joe was 18.
Idiot.
So I think because just one of them got questioned, it kind of ruined everybody else's IDs.
Oh, okay.
So all the other friends and everything. Lady Justice Rafferty at the Old Bailey called it a vile murder, and that, in quotations, she had to be taken out of the flat, cleaned up so that the attention would not be drawn to her en route. She tagged along, battered, in pain, and unsuspecting like a faithful, loving dog as you walked to her death.
Damn. That's crazy. And when you started mentioning their ages, I don't know, that's even more shocking to me. I didn't expect them to be that young. That's young. It didn't mention what they did, right? Or are they all just college students? Or are they even college students?
No, it didn't say anything about them being students.
Oh.
Maybe they're all just messed up people.
I was going to say spoiled brats that lived off, I don't know. But it probably didn't mention that either.
Mm-mm. No, it just
Assholes.
mainly mentions that they just took advantage of Gemma and her being so nice and wanting friends.
Damn. That one's kind of frustrating.
It is.
I don't know. It makes me feel weird. Oh, there are assholes like this out there.
There is. That's why I said there's horrible people out there.
Yeah.
Don't like people.
Not today.
No. There's horrible people out there. And it sucks because Gemma's mom and sister, when they were finally able to go inside of Gemma's place after it all happened, Gemma, her place was just, her flat was just horrible, they said. It was like a hoarder's place. It was messy. Nothing was clean. She didn't take care of herself. She couldn't take care of herself.
because of the people she was.
No, not because of her.
Because of
her,
herself.
of herself. And it just angers her mom even more because Sue Prince, Gemma's mom, she believes wholeheartedly that if Gemma would have gotten the help that she needed, the assistance, that this could have been prevented. As in, she would have been living in an assisted place, and they probably wouldn't have let this happen where she can get involved with people like that.
Yeah.
And and it's not like her mom didn't try. They tried. Her mom, like, she knew something was up with Gemma.
But they couldn't get it out of her.
But no, like, none of the tests really clearly said that, she was on that spectrum to actually get her the help she needed.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Damn.
And it sucks because there was a documentary, and in a letter 2 years prior to that, Gemma wrote in that letter to their county or whatever it's called over there. She said that she would like to live by herself. She wants to be independent, but she also would like help whenever she needs it. Help with getting a job, help with paying for things, help taking care of herself. And that's so sad. Like, something was wrong with her. She's asking for help, but they just could never actually give her the help that she clearly needed.
Wow. Oh, no. Yeah. This one made me feel kind of weird.
I know. And that was my senseless murder of Gemma Hayter.
No, people like that are so gross. But I mean, they got life. However, I'm pretty sure, like, in 20 years of in good behavior, they have the possibility, right?
Well, 3 of them, they did try to appeal it a couple of years ago, but
no
justice over there. They're like, no,
fuck you.
Yeah, no,
no, you don't get to do that.
No. Even with 2 of them having like representation, and one of them wrote a letter, still no.
Representation?
Yeah, like lawyers and stuff like that.
So are they like rich, spoiled brats? Or
I never said that, honestly.
Damn.
I never did. I couldn't find anything about really their families.
Damn. Assholes.
I know.
Dust mites. Everything.
That sucks because, like, I was looking up a different case already, and then her name popped up, Gemma Hayter. And then all of a sudden it kind of gave like a little brief, like little summary on the little few lines they had. And right when I read it, I was like, this one's fucked up. I guess I'm changing my story. Oh, this is fucked up.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's pretty messed up.
It had to be said because there's some even young people who are assholes and can take advantage of people who clearly just want to have friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's unfortunate.
It is. That's why I don't want to say it, but people, be wary of who you become friends with. I don't want to say it because you should also like trust people, but then you shouldn't trust people.
I feel like you should trust people to a certain extent, especially if like you're just getting to know them. Like, you don't know.
Yeah. But then there's assholes like this. That's why I'm always conflicted, because I hear these stories and then it's weird because then you think of the people, I think of the people like, there's other people who don't listen to true crime. So they don't know that there's assholes like this out in the world.
Oh, okay. Yes, I never thought of that. That's true.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, yes, be positive. Yes, you could trust people. But then I'm like, there's the other part of me who listens to true crime all the time. Like, no, don't fucking trust people. People are assholes.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's what I say. Trust them, but to a certain extent. Or, I don't know, get to know the person before she invited them over, right? To her place or...
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just get to know these people first before anything.
And it's sad because I think of it like now that she let them over, but she wouldn't let her family over to see how she was living. So it's like she liked them, the friends, more, and she wanted friends more.
Yes.
She wanted friends more than she wanted her sisters, her niece, her mom.
Because, not putting it in a mean way, but did she ever have friends before? It was probably really hard for her.
She did. Actually, when she was going to the secondary school for disabled students, there was a girl, it was a girl who was interviewed and they were friends. That's what she said.
That's
that they were
sad,
friends in there.
That she couldn't, connect more with those people and have more of that type of friendship than these sickos that she ended up hanging around with.
These, your word, dust mites?
Dust mites. I don't know. That's frustrating. But you're right. Like, people who don't listen to true crime or don't know about this sort of stuff, it's like, I don't know. I don't think you should trust everybody. That's what I say.
Sometimes I miss having that little, like, innocent mind of sunshine, rainbows, fairies. Oh,
A child. Oh, but then, I mean, you see now, you tell children that be wary of what's out there because you never know.
Yeah.
Because kids are like that and they see people like that, like, they don't know any better, and there are sick individuals who take advantage of that as well.
That is true. That's why I feel like people who watch true crime are more strict. No, not strict, but they let their children know. Like, don't trust people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't trust people.
Yeah.
I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like the parents who listen to true crimes, they probably do tell their kids that there are some messed up people out in this world. You cannot trust people more than the other parents who don't listen.
I could be wrong. Honestly, I could see that. Now, there's a little fun fact about me. I don't have any children, but I mean, if I ever did, honestly, you're right, Amadi. I don't think I would ever let them just, I don't know. I don't want to say it, but you're right. It's kind of hard to trust people, especially if you're like, if there's a child involved. I don't know. For me, it would be really hard to let a child even go over to a sleepover. I don't have a child right now, but I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. If at some point that comes into my life.
Well, yeah, because you even hear stories of, like, some really fucked up stories about, like, sleepovers and how you didn't know the father was a freaking child killer or things like that. Yeah.
It's things like that just, like, give me the ick. So, like, if later on in the very distant future I do end up having kids, I would probably be one of those, like, I don't want to do it either. Like, you wouldn't want to be someone who's, like, super strict on your kids, but then it would be kind of hard to just let them be with.
So basically, it's like, it was easier when we were kids because our parents growing up, they didn't have the opportunity to listen to true crime all the time and, listen or hear what's actually going out in the world. So, back then, oh, you're going to go to stay the night at so-and-so's house? Yeah, go ahead.
It was more lax, no?
It was.
Especially, like, that's why when you look back in, like, the cases set in, like, the 70s, maybe even before that, like the 60s, of, like, how people would just leave their doors unlocked and just trust anybody.
And that was during the time of, you were just able to easily hitchhike across country.
Exactly.
People would just pick up any hitchhiker.
And then people like fucking Ted Bundy and who was the other one? Richard Ramirez and Golden State. Oh, sickos like that just made people just change their whole way of living.
No, they've always been around. Those are just the louder ones.
Louder ones that you know.
Yes.
When you say their name, you immediately know.
Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed our episode.
Yes.
Kind of.
If you liked this episode, remember to leave us a comment. Also, let us know if there's a case that you want us to cover. That is always welcome. Make sure you follow us, subscribe, share. It would mean the world to us. And I think I'm good.
Okay. Well, everybody, be safe.
Be well.
And see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.